I've been branching out and watching a lot more international films recently, and one of the directors I've been honing in on is Tsai Liang. Through his 33-year and still going strong career, he has written and directed 10 feature films, including What Time Is It There?, which might be my favorite of his to date, and Stray Dogs, among other short and television films. He's also credited as one of the pioneers of the second new wave of Taiwanese cinema. But his second feature, Vive l'Amour, is what we'll be talking about today. It's about three strangers, a real estate agent named Ling, played by the beautiful Yang Mei, a street peddler with whom the real estate agent is currently casually sleeping with, named Arong, played by the handsome Chen Zhaorong, and a houseless columbarium salesman named Xiao Kang, played by Tsai's brilliant muse who stars in every one of his movies, Li Kangsen, who all unknowingly share an apartment as refuge and for their sexual affairs. Also, they are all at their core incredibly lonely individuals. It was the winner of the Golden Lion at the 51st Venice International Film Festival in 1994 and is one of his most famous films. Tsai is infamous for his love of long takes and slow, raw depictions of human loneliness, and Vive might just be the best example of that. Warning, this does include spoilers and Heartbreak, so proceed with caution. I'll let the scene speak for itself first. This is near the end of the film, right after Xiao Kang finally sneaks out from under the bed, after Arong and Ling Mei sleep together the night before, and where Xiao Kang opens his heart to Arong, who cannot respond because he's asleep. Damn. Might have to go lie down after that one. Something we notice right off the bat is how long each shot in the sequence is. In a 2014 article from Wired, James Cutting, a psychologist at Cornell University, said that the average shot length, ASL for short, has drastically been cut down to 2.5 seconds today. And in the 1930s, the ASL was around 12 seconds. Now obviously Vive is a Taiwanese film in Mandarin Chinese, but if we're looking at this data in the 90s, the average shot length seems to be around 4 seconds long. I've been unable to find the calculated official ASL for Vive l'Amour, but to put things into perspective, here are the ASLs for several other Tsai films that have been recorded in the Cinemetrics database. 102.2 seconds was the ASL for Stray Dogs. That last 12-minute long sequence of staring at a wall was a lot to sit through. But here, the use of the long take centers Xiao Kang's loneliness. Though he may be physically with another person, Arong is fully asleep and unreceptive to Xiao Kang, who is awake. Tsai also chooses to not score his work and instead relies solely on diegetic sound and greatly limits dialogue, which forces us to see how Tsai's characters communicate with one another and convey their feelings purely through their body language and facial expressions. This is one of the only times we see Xiao Kang really open up. Look at his face, the longing, how he immediately turns to Arong. The colors are bleak, the walls not adorned, the mattress not even covered with a singular sheet. The only decor we have in the room are the bodies and the persons of Xiao Kang and Arong, strewn about the space. There's also this absolutely beautiful framing of Xiao Kang and Arong that actually makes me think of this shot of Denis Lavant in Tsai's short film, Journey to the West, where Denis becomes a landscape that the monk, played by the very same Li Kangsen, traverses. Arong's face, body, his whole person is this landscape that Xiao Kang wants so badly to explore, perhaps even to love. But because he is so much greater than just a person in Xiao Kang's eyes, it is absolutely unattainable. Xiao Kang may be so close to Arong, and yet he is so very far. And when Arong turns and puts an arm around Xiao Kang freezes up. Yes, perhaps it's what he wants, but both we as the viewers and Xiao Kang himself know that the person he thinks he's putting his arm around is not who he thinks it is, and wants it to be. And that way, Arong is lonely too. The person he slept with, Mei, is long gone, and he'll likely never see her again. He too is empty and without what he so desires and desperately wants. A person to maybe build a relationship with. Xiao Kang then, after some deliberation, crosses the threshold to Arong. It's tight, it's almost suffocating, it's so intimate. The slight diagonal and the fine detail of the mattress underneath the pair further boxes us in. And even though Xiao Kang is closing the distance between himself and Arong, every sliver of space between the pair feels bigger than it actually is. Juxtapose that with shots of Arong settling up to Mei, which are clearly more about physical connection than that of an emotional one. Xiao Kang wants to offer Arong more than just a physical connection, and that is why it is so deeply heartbreaking that the only time where Xiao Kang can express what he's been feeling up to this point is when Arong is asleep. We never see Xiao Kang fully present with other people. Just look at how much happier Xiao Kang is when he actually starts bonding with Arong. Arong is the only person who sees Xiao Kang and Mei, really. And yet he is neither awake when Mei leaves, nor when Xiao Kang crosses the threshold, or when Xiao Kang finally departs, too. And he is left alone. And when he wakes up, he'll not only be alone, but he'll feel really, truly lonely. Not a single one of this trio get what they need in the end, and all of them remain lonely denizens in the bleak portrait of Taipei Tsai so often chooses to paint in his films. It is so beautiful and hurts so much to watch, but I believe we've all been, or will be there at one point or another, in a city we should be calling our home. I'll close with a quote from one of my favorite Letterboxd reviews for Vive l'Amour, written by Jerry McLaughlin. "Why does this big apartment feel so empty, even with the three of us here? These beds don't have sheets on them. They don't feel like home.